Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Remington Vaughn, and today we ask the question, what is the orange pill? Well, to start off this whole segment, let's just think about the times we live in. In the current age, with declining intelligence, declining attention spans, large concepts are distilled into small, digestible media formats. Whether you're looking at cartoons in a newspaper, politiballs, or even memes, you're looking at distilled ideas wrapped in some humorous sugarcoating. One of those formats we know are called pills. Now, this comes from the movie The Matrix, where the pills represent core fundamentals of ideology. Described by the Urban Dictionary, though, the orange pill comes from the channel Not Just Bikes on YouTube, and it talks about car dependency and the fact that we should focus on walkability along with transit. Now, as I've done a lot of thinking about the orange pill, it's actually more something like a logistical philosophy, and it centers itself around the point of view of the pedestrian. Anything that is pedestrian friendly is inherently orange pilled. To shoot off a couple of examples really quickly, buses, trains, some planes, roads, boats, and trolleys are orange pilled. Here is the thesis, alright? Now just take a moment, sit back, relax, let's think about this for a minute, alright? Imagine if you did not have a car. Imagine if, God forbid, we wake up tomorrow and gasoline just evaporated, someone drank it all. What would we do? We'd probably get a couple more days worth, but we'll go a week afterwards. Now what do we do? Alright, this is kind of the things that we're talking about, car dependency. Alright, the next thought process is work. Work's pretty important. It's kind of how we eat. It's kind of how we live. For all of us, I think almost all of us, that is. When you wake up, you gotta go to work. How do you go to work? We drive. Drive in our cars. Most of us drive in our cars. Some of us take the bus. Some of us take the subway. Let's really narrow this down. How far away is it? Could you walk there? No. Could you even walk there before your shift ends? I know for my work, if I would walk there, I would be pinned as late. That's with me waking up at 6 a.m., starting my shift at 9. It's absolutely uncertain. I wouldn't even have any crosswalks. I wouldn't have any sidewalks either. Think about yourself. Think about where you work. Could you walk from your home on a sidewalk or a strip of land, hiking trail, whatever, something that a walker could actually walk on, to your office? All the way there. Make it on time before lunch. That's kind of atrocious. That's really atrocious. Just imagine how dependent our society is on our personal transportation. And why is it that this necessity has been brought upon us? Why is it to live in society, to be part of the functioning body, you need to have this, what I'd call a utility. It is something that we all require. How do we go from not even ancient, medieval, revolutionary war time? We go leaving up to then. We go to 1800s. How do we have towns that had a baker, had a butcher, had a deli inside of them? How did they get their locally sourced meat and produce? Freshly made bread every morning. How do we go from that? And how do we advance so far that we've decided as a group, as a society, yeah, that was nice and all. What about my grocery store? Why don't we just replace 3 different jobs with a grocery store? 3 different artisans with a grocery store. One of which, for many of us, is not even in walking distance within our morning. How could we have gone from daily bread to bread that was made 6 months ago? How do we go from a meal that was killed the morning of to meals that were probably made 3 presidents ago. Think about this. We got a little bit of time left, haven't we? Day's not over because work just got out. We go home, we put on our play clothes, you know how it is. Where do we go? Well, where do we go? Inside the United States, there's a very big third space problem. Now, what is a third space for all those who listening? A third space is a place, well, to define what a third space is, I'll define what a first and second space are. Imagine your hues of friends. Your family, that's your tight-knit, close group. That's your house, that's your home. A first space is where you interact with your family. A second space is where you interact with your friends. Friends are important. They help you grow the sense of community, the sense of belonging. They help guide you in this life. They offer what family doesn't in the means of you have many people your age. You have many people from different diverse backgrounds, and these people use their experiences to help you out, and you give them your experiences to help them out. It's a very necessary part of life. Now, second space is, I would count your restaurants. It would be your golf courses. It would be everything. Every commercial product that we have here. Sports. What is the third space inside the United States? Well, Europe, they have parks. They have commonwealths. They have all types of public outing places sponsored by the government. What do we have? We have maybe parks. We have maybe in a town you might have a public football field owned by the high school, carried by the town. There you go. Maybe it's a big game in your town, maybe a big city game. You go to the city, you drive about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, buy $20, $40 worth of parking for $100 and some ticket just to watch your team lose for 3 hours. You just sit in a crowded thing, buying overpriced food. Why is it that the third space has to be a commercialized area? And why have we been trained from birth to think of the stranger as a anonymous boogeyman? In American life, you've been most definitely told the, I would like to say the maid's tale of stranger danger. When people grow up, your life is not going to be friends and family. Your life's going to be strangers. It's going to be a whole lot of acquaintances. We are losing our concept of community and of society because we've decided to be a digital recluse. We've decided to hermit ourselves into our smartphone. Society is whatever we see on the screen, and it's not the people who surround us. How do you know what your neighbor thinks or feels without talking to them? How can you talk to them if there's no third space? It's a desperate state of affairs, and you can see this all throughout, no matter where you are in this country, that the death of third spaces is bringing on the death of community. With that being said, I'll throw you in a little bit of a bonus, alright? I'd actually say, as a person myself, you know what I mean? I say that the definition of orange pilled is actually a little bit different than what everyone else is talking about. Over under, people talk about the orange pill as a pedestrian problem, but can me and you not see that the pedestrian problem, lack of sidewalks, lack of trolleys, buses, you get that, is a infrastructure problem? Can we not see that suburban sprawl has made hostile environments, inherently hostile architecture, has produced ugly societies, ugly communities? You go through a community and you see the same home like 2,000 times. There's just one variation. Maybe one uses light red and one uses dark red. There's no artistic value. What are we doing? We're living in like an MS Paint world. We all have the same house. It's cookie cutter. Some people like it. How? What's there to like? I'm not ripping on my guys that like chocolate and vanilla. You know, if I got 3 scoops, one of them's gonna be chocolate, one of them's gonna be vanilla. I love it. But there's no feeling, there's no warmth, there's no design, there's no architecture. It's utility. It's utilitarianism. Where does that affect the pedestrian? It doesn't. It really doesn't. But who gets affected? Who gets affected when there's no third space? Who suffocates on the inside? Who is screaming without a voice? It isn't the pedestrian. It isn't the person that walks the streets that cares about the dying community or the actions can be taken to slow it down. It is the public citizen, and that's what I like to put. I like to talk about, in the same vein of the orange pill, about the point of view of the public citizen. And that's where I get my third spaces. The public citizen is a aspect of a person. It isn't one person bit of the time. It is all of us some of the time. Have you ever been on a road? Have you ever been on a sidewalk? Have you ever been out in the town walking, traversing, checking out a statue? You were a public citizen, a public civilian. You were a public member, part of the community. You were a blank number, but you were part of the whole. And that is what I like. The public citizen cares if there's a pool in their community. That doesn't have anything to do with walkability. That has nothing to do with how car-dependent society is. It has everything to do about the person. It has everything to do. Without a community pool, there's no watering hole. There's no focal point of the community during summer. Do you understand what I'm talking about? The public citizen cares about public provided amenities, urbanization patterns, and they cannot articulate this. Very few can. Very few can go through a community and see what's wrong. Because, to be quite frank, people don't know what's wrong. They know something's wrong. They go through blocks and blocks of houses. You can't figure out what's awful about this. It's convenient. It's convenient to drive. It's convenient to walk through. What's wrong with it? This is not how humans are supposed to live. It's how creatures are supposed to live. Sell it off. But this is the world we find ourselves. And if you really dig what I'm putting down, if you're really picking up it, then tune in. My name is Remington Vaughn. This was Gridlock. Have a great day, guys. See you next time. Bye.